morning, Catherine. Today is Thursday, and today is the last section of part 1 of Twins Read Books, where we read Desire Under the Elms, and I'm going to be talking about part 3, scenes 3 and 4. Scene 3 opens with Eben sitting at the kitchen table, willing himself to leave, and Abby standing in her bedroom that she shares with Ephraim and the baby, looking over the baby at the consequences of her actions. At the end of the last scene, she promised Eben that she would fix everything that had gone wrong with them and make it like it was before and give them a chance to be a couple so they could run away and have their own family, make their own farm, and have something that the both of them could call their own. When she tells Eben that she has killed the baby, she doesn't say, "I killed the baby." She says, "I've done it, I've fixed it, I've killed him." And she expects Eben to forgive her and to love her and say, "You know what, I understand. Let's go be a family now together where we can start over." But he thinks that Abby has killed Ephraim, and so he starts saying, "Oh, we have to make a plan to make it look like he died doing something stupid because he was really drunk last night." And Abby just looks at him and says, "That's not the one I killed." Eben gets very, very upset at her because this baby was his. It was his son. It looked just like him. And there was nothing that he could have done to stop her. At first, Eben is upset that she has killed the baby, but then he gets very angry at her and thinks that the reason that she killed the baby wasn't so they could start over and have their own life. It was so he would have one less thing that he could have. Scene 3 closes with Eben running off, telling Abby that he's going to tell the sheriff about what she did and she's going to go to prison, and Abby standing on the front porch pleading with Eben for him to love her again because she didn't want Eben to leave her. She did this solely so he would love her. This scene is the most vulnerable that we've seen Abby. In the other scenes, we've seen her as a very strong-headed woman, and she knows exactly what she wants. She knows how to get it. But in this one, she tells Eben that she loves him and that she's willing to do anything to make it so he'll love her back. To the point where she kills her child in order for him to know how committed she is to loving him. And she's killed everything she had. So she killed her baby, she killed the relationship that she had with Eben, and she killed her chances of having this farm in order to have this relationship with Eben. Scene 4 opens an hour after Eben left when Ephraim just wakes up, and Ephraim doesn't know that anything is wrong. He thinks that Abby is next to him in the bed until he turns around and sees that she's gone, and he checks on the baby and thinks that the baby's okay. He goes downstairs and sees Abby at the kitchen table saying, "The baby's dead. He's not going to inherit anything. He's not going to need me anymore because he doesn't need anything anymore." Ephraim is very upset because he believed that this child was his and believed that this was the son that he wanted. Abby ends up telling Ephraim everything, how she never loved him in the first place, had a child with Eben, and planned to run off with Eben so that way they could have this farm. And it all plays out sort of like a daytime soap opera. It's all very complicated. When Eben comes back to the farm after telling the sheriff, Ephraim tells him that he can no longer stay because Ephraim is angry that Abby had this relationship with his son that he didn't know about. When Abby tells him that they had this relationship and the child was Eben's, he finally realizes that what he felt was wrong in the last scene is that the child wasn't his and that everyone knew something that he didn't know. Ephraim tells Eben that he is no longer allowed to stay on the farm and that he will get nothing. Once Eben realizes that he has nothing, he goes back to Abby and he says, "Abby, love me. I'm really sorry. I forgive you for everything that you've done. Do you forgive me? I will tell the sheriff that it was my idea to kill the baby, but I had something to do with it. We'll both go to prison together and then we can be together." Abby rejects this. She doesn't want Eben to go to prison. He didn't kill the baby, he just told her to. Eben no longer cares that way early in the play, Abby told Ephraim that if they had a son, Eben would be written out of the will. He just wants Abby to love him. He had this connection with Abby that he doesn't want to lose. The play ends with Eben and Abby being taken away by the sheriff, and the sheriff commenting on how the farm is so beautiful and how he wished he owned it. The main struggle of the play is the fact that that everyone wants to own this farm and there's nothing that anyone can do to sort it out. Eben believes that because his mother was worked to death on that farm, that it is rightfully his. Ephraim refused to give up the farm because he built it from the bottom and knows that this is everything that he has worked for and doesn't want to give it up to someone he doesn't see worthy as having it. Abby killed the baby as a way to sort of ensure that she and Eben would have the farm when Ephraim died. The main theme of the play is that everyone wants something that they can call their own, and the ways that people are willing to do that. Ephraim worked really, really hard his entire life to make the farm a working farm. Abby killed her son in order to keep what she had, and Eben was willing to work and have a relationship with his father's wife. And I think it's very interesting the lengths that people will go to take what they believe they deserve. Catherine, it was really exciting to discuss this book with you, and I'm very excited to start the next play. I think we should wait until Monday to actually start reading it because homework and Super Bowl. Catherine, I'll see you tomorrow.